It is a joy this morning to celebrate this Mass together with Father Albert, with his friends from Australia, as they have this pilgrimage not only here in our country but in the Holy Land. We thank you for joining us in this celebration this morning here in the Manila Cathedral, the Mother Church of the Philippines, the first cathedral in the country. For the past days, we have been reflecting from our first reading the story of Noah and the ark. But even if this was written thousands of years before Christ came, we can already see Jesus in this story. Jesus Christ is already prefigured in the ark of Noah. Bagaman 1,000 taon na po ito na isulat bago pa man dumating si Jesus, makikita na natin si Jesus sa kwento na iyan. We can see that Noah entered the door of the ark in faith. God called him to build the ark. God called him and his family to enter the ark. But not many came to the ark. Only Noah and his family had faith in God, believed in God, and therefore entered the door of the ark. We also see Jesus there because we enter this faith through Jesus, the door of faith. Noah and his family were saved, protected from the flood. Jesus also protects us from the flood of sin, the flood of danger, the flood of death. We can already see Jesus in this story. And after the flood, when Noah went out of the ark, God made a covenant with them, a new covenant with man. That is also the work of Jesus. We are also led by Jesus into a new and eternal covenant with God. That is why we can already somehow see Jesus in Noah's ark. We enter the ark through the door of faith. We are saved by the ark from sin and death. And Noah's ark leads us to a new covenant. That is the work of Jesus, prefigured in the Old Testament. That is why Jesus is rightly called by Peter in our gospel reading today as the Christ. He is not just Elijah. He is not just John the Baptist or any other prophets. He is the Christ. That is why the church fathers call Jesus the ark of our salvation. Makikita na natin si Jesus sa kwento ni Noe. Siya ang pintuan kung saan dumaan tayo papasok ng may pananampalataya sa Diyos. Siya rin ang nagligtas sa atin sa baha ng kasalanan at kamatayan. At siya rin naman ang nagdala sa atin sa bagong tipan, kapiling ng Diyos at ang tao. And lastly, Jesus also becomes the sign of God's love. When in the Old Testament today, Jesus tells them, I set my bow in the clouds, and whenever you see this sign, you will see my salvation. Whenever we see Jesus on the cross, that is the sign of God's salvation. And whenever we see Jesus, as Noah and his family saw the rainbow in the clouds, we are reminded, I have come not to destroy you, but to love you. My dear brothers and sisters, as we continue this celebration of the Eucharist, we will receive Jesus in his body and blood, in that bread which will turn into his body. When we see Jesus, we will see the Christ, the ark of our salvation. Amen.